All right, let's do it live on this edition of Cleveland Browns Daily. We're presented by Ballybet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns. I am merely Bo. He is the great Z, and to my right, the great Joe Flacco. Good to see you, buddy.
Yeah, good to see you guys.
How's practice this morning? Everything? How's it going? We're in the dog days of it, and good Lord, has the heat been there?
Yeah, the heat has been there. It's funny. I mean, it's not like we're out there that long, so it's tough to. You have to label something as the dog days, so you kind of label this week full pads. It has been hot. It's funny, you don't have to do much before you're kind of dripping in sweat and the towels are all soaked. So it's good to kind of see some of the guys get pushed through this a little bit.
All right, you did an interview with CBS, kind of at home, a feature.
Yeah.
What do you have to? You've won a Super Bowl, even a Super Bowl MVP. You're playing for 18 years when the average career in this league is under 3 years, and your kids are not impressed at all with your resume. What do you have to do? I'm sitting here being like, I got no chance.
Yeah. I think they told you. I think they said I have to win another Super Bowl. Man, you know how kids can be, man. It's a freaking trip with those guys. They didn't get to see the majority of my football career.
Sure.
So I think it's just their way of showing how excited they are to kind of, I feel like, be a part of it a little bit. Honestly, I tell people, like, they definitely have more fun poking fun at me, but, like, when good things happen, they don't necessarily say it, but you can just see it on their faces, So they're never going to give you anything, and I'm not just me. Other people asking, they're going to take every chance they get to kind of give it to me a little bit. But you can tell, like, just by looking at their face, like when they're somewhat proud of, just kind of like I'm sure they can tell when. We're proud of them, and they can see it on our faces.
As they should be. Just have them watch Training Camp Insider, presented by Gregory Industries. You can find on the Browns YouTube channel. Bernie Kosar, who is a legend in his own right, effusive in his praise for you every day. He's like, I'm not on his PR staff. Trust me. So just tell them to watch that, and they can hear from somebody else.
Yeah, Bernie's been unbelievable, man. I talked to him out there a little bit today, and I was like, dude, it means so much. Like, thank you so much. He's been great.
Your bootleg rollout, he's like, he just flicks it with his wrist. It's so effortless. I could never do that. He's like, what's going on?
I remember the last time you were here in studio with us, one of the things, and that was coming off that incredible run of games, get us into the postseason, that incredible finish to that season. You were in here and we were talking about your kids, and you said what's kind of cool is they're getting to see it.
Yeah.
And so they get to be a part of it. And so now to return back here where you had that magical time here, what has that been like for the family to have you back here?
I think it's a lot. I think they're excited about it. I mean, like I said, they're never going to tell you, but like my older boys are like, you should play till you're 50, So like when they say those kind of things, like they're obviously excited about the chance to like be a part of it, and it makes you feel good. I mean, I think there's got to be some selfish thoughts on my part in there to kind of like have them like it's kind of like, man, it's cool for me that they're a part of it, and. Yeah, so like this is all about kind of getting to that point where we can, hopefully enjoy it.
You mentioned Bernie too, and I was thinking about it. Like, the name of the division was different, but you really can't write the history of this division without like guys like you and Bernie and these guys who played a long time in this division and won a lot in this division. There's a badge of honor of playing a career in this division.
Yeah, I really, I do think there is. I mean, I think every division probably can say that, but man. I remember coming into this league and like you have to be able to play in weather and you have to be able to play against good tough defenses. You have to kind of be willing to play a little bit more old school style football. I remember people kind of when I got drafted in Baltimore, people talking about like having to get a guy that can play in this division. So people are prideful about playing against these teams. And since I've been in the league, there's every single team's been a challenge. Now. Obviously there's been some years where Cleveland and a couple of teams haven't had the best records, but they're always a challenge to play. And, I mean, you can look back and there's a handful of years where 3 teams from this division have made the playoffs, and that was before even 7 teams were in the playoffs from each team. Like, even when we were only doing 6, like there was years where Baltimore, Cincinnati, Cleveland, Pittsburgh were all in the playoffs. I mean, I think – who was in it in 23? I mean, Baltimore, us, and Pittsburgh. It's another year, and so it's always going to be tough. So you always look at these teams and like we have one of the toughest schedules this year, and it's like, yeah, you play in the AFC North. And when you're kind of at the bottom of the division in terms of last year's records, well, you're playing all those teams that you're playing are technically better than you, so you're going to have a slightly harder schedule than those teams are. It's just every year you're going to be in the top of the hardest schedules in the league just because you have to play these teams twice.
So Kevin Stefanski says that he doesn't pay any attention to it. He doesn't look at it. I don't know if I completely believe him. We opened the season this year with Cincinnati and Baltimore. I mean, last year the Browns didn't play a division game until I think it was week 8.
Right.
That has to you've been in this division. You talked about it. Like those games, you don't get a chance really to kind of ramp up and, we're going to get the things figured out in the first month. When you got back-to-back division games, is that as a player, knowing what you've been through and the wars you've been through in this division, like, okay, we've got to be crisp?
Yeah, listen, you would definitely want to come out crisp. I think you always want to get off to a good start to get that confidence going for your team. But it is in Kevin's defense, it is a long season.
Yeah.
Like, you can't let early things affect your mindset. You have to stay the course because it's a long, like Baltimore started 0-2 last year. Cincinnati started 0-2 a couple of years. I think Baltimore started 0-2 last year. And then when I was looking at it, like they were the best team in the league.
Yep.
Now Philly did beat them in the regular season, so and they won the Super Bowl, obviously. So you got to give them a lot of credit. But like all year, I was saying, listen, it's Baltimore and Philly, and like I said, they started out 0-2. So it is imperative that we kind of get our team going and really get it heading in the right direction early on, and for those division games because you know how important they are. But at the same time, like I said, in Kevin's defense, you got to just look at it one at a time and take it for what it is.
You've seen this league evolve significantly take it on Sundays, Mondays, Thursday nights, all of that evolve in terms of how the game is played, the style of it. But you've seen it in your 18 years, I'm sure, evolve training camp massively, right?
Yeah.
Today was the first day in Kevin Stefanski's tenure here that there was live tackling in a training camp.
Yeah.
And it was on day 2 of pads. I mean, we're talking about you weren't at the Greenbrier either the year you were with us, but day 1 in pads was like just individual and position group, and then maybe some on air, but it never got to live. What are you sensing around that this is just, talks about hardening the body, hardening the mind, that this is a different kind of a camp here, and that this is a team that maybe it has nothing to do with the way the schedule opens, but that we're going to be ready to be physical immediately?
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool. I remember going back to like my first year and like we did like a live short yardage goal line period, and it was insane. Like it was crazy because everybody knows where the ball's going, and it's like a hitting drill with 250-pound grown men. Like when you're doing tackling drills in high school, and but when you have two 11-on-11 giant guys running into each other at full speed, like, man, there's going to be some collisions. So I thought it was pretty cool today. I mean, I think he honestly wants to find out about some of the guys on this team and what they can, because like when you're just thudding off and stuff, like it isn't quite real, like, blow the whistle, he's down right there. So you don't really get to find out until the preseason games and stuff about how guys can break tackles and how much they shy away from things maybe. So when you get to do a period like that, and I think our team responded well. Like I think everybody's excited about it, and I do think you got to see some of guys. I think you get to see a little bit more about what makes guys good football players, and that's breaking tackles and seeking out some contact and not being shy to be a part of it. I think those things are all really important in order to be a good football player. So you get to find a little bit of that out about certain guys where you wouldn't if you didn't do it.
Certainly the quarterback position is one that everyone's talking about. You have the injury to Kenny earlier this week, and hopefully he gets back soon. But we talked to Kevin several times, and one of the things he talked about was the plan that he was going to have for you guys. And there's never enough reps. Just never enough reps. And you've talked about that publicly as well. But how is that part going from your perspective? You've been through a lot of these of these early camps. How's that part going in terms of trying to get everybody reps?
Yeah, listen, I think they were trying to get everybody reps, and it is a hard thing because especially in today's camp, you're only out there for so long. Like if we were running 120 reps and we were splitting the field up, and everybody would get a good amount of reps. Like even if you're getting a lot of reps right now, it's still not as many as you were getting 10 years ago. Like if you were the second or third string guy. So there's always going to be a limited number. And it's funny, like, you want Kenny to get back out there. You can definitely see the difference when there's 3 guys versus 4 guys.
100%.
It becomes way it's even less of a headache for the coaches to come up with how they're going to split them. So. Listen, we all love getting reps. You get into a little bit of a groove. You kind of start to feel comfortable with everybody. You get to show a little bit about what you do without having to worry about the little tiny things that don't really matter. So, but at the same time, like it's our job right now to kind of just adapt and be able to adjust to whatever they're asking of us. And I think that's the most important thing is you can't dwell on those things. You just got to do whatever they're asking you to do, that you got to do the best. And maybe sometimes you'll feel like you're not doing enough, or maybe they're not seeing you, but you just have to have faith that you are, and just kind of stay the course and let it play itself out.
Is it hard? Because imagine it would be human nature. Be like, okay, I've got, today I'm going to have 9, we'll call it, or 12.
Yeah.
I want to throw the ball down the field and show them the things I can do, but maybe that's not what's dictated on this play based on the coverage, all that.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm talking about. I think there is some difficulty with that for sure, but I can tell you the best thing to do is just play each play as it is. You're going to get opportunities to throw the ball down the field. And if you don't, you don't. Like, that's not what practice is about. It's about showing – listen, especially for me, like there's certain things that I think we know that I can do and stuff like that. Like I don't need to throw the ball down the field every play. Like, okay. It's about
you can do it documented.
So like if a couple guys get to throw the ball downfield a couple times in practice and I don't, I can't feel bad about that. Like I got to feel good that I did what I did, or I got to feel bad that I did what I was supposed to do, or I got to feel bad that I didn't do what I was supposed to do. So I want to walk off that practice field feeling good about the decisions that I made.
Right.
And if that means that I had to check the ball down on every single rep, well, I honestly would feel good about it, because that's what I felt like that's what I was supposed to do. So.
I just like when they keep starting off for you with like some kind of a dagger, and you can read the post or the dig, just where you go in middle of the field, boom, and then it just looks so pretty. It's so easy.
There's certain things about those plays where I do kind of think about it. I'm like, okay, you get a chance to throw the ball down the field now, but remember, you do have a running back. If they just drop back, just hit the running back. If you get a little pressure, hit the running back. So. And
there has been some pressure. This D-line has been pretty impressive.
They're good.
Yeah, you guys got Carolina next week on the joint practices, and then preseason play, and away we go. You've been through a lot of these. Are you hitting the benchmarks that you need, despite not being enough reps, just physically the benchmarks you need to know your body for just if it is you, that you'll be ready to go?
Yeah, I'll be ready to go. I mean, listen, like
you came off the couch in L.A., was ready to go.
That's 2 years ago.
I know.
You like getting the reps for sure. And it's more than just getting your body ready. Like there's other things to that, but you definitely like getting the reps. But at this point, you just go out and do it. And that's what the off season's for, is to get your body ready to go through a 17+ game season.
All right, get your meeting.
Yep.
Good talking to you, buddy.
Sounds good.
The best.
There he is, Joe Flacco, in studio with us to kick off Cleveland Browns Daily. We're presented by Ballybet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns on 850 ESPN Cleveland. The countdown is on. Browns football will be here before you know it. Lock in your spot now as Browns season ticket member and score the lowest price with no deposit needed. Buy online. Check out your view with every epic matchup coming for the 2025 home slate. Visit browns.com/tickets now. Time to get into the hot topics today, presented by University Hospitals, official healthcare partner of your Cleveland Browns. Well, this is different than the previous 2 days in that we've already had practice. It's done.
Yeah, it's fantastic is what it is. It is absolutely fantastic. Couldn't be happier.
Do we all right, this happened. Let's do this first because I want to pay proper homage to MJ, who is frequent in here and you've had a very close connection with from the time he was drafted, and he's one of the great friends of the program. You know, kind of view him the way that we had, for a while we had Jarvis was like that. He was in here quite a bit. Or
yep.
There's other guys who we've had, and MJ's been in here a lot. And we were on the air in our final segment yesterday when this happened.
Yep.
And it's one of those things where you hear a hush, and then you start to look for numbers. And honestly, the first thing I saw was Denzel on a knee. And so then you're like, and we were watching, so you go, okay, well, it's first-team defense, and then you're looking for numbers, and he kind of sat up, and you saw the one, and away you go, and we had the news official that he's done for the season with a torn Achilles. So a lot of layers to this one. We talked about some of it yesterday, but now knowing what we correctly assumed yesterday, for him personally, just heartbroken. How devastating and how fleeting life is and sport is. That was an example of that, and then team-wise, there's big ramifications as well. So I'll open the floor and let you wax poetic.
Yeah, I tweeted or X'd about it.
I still call
last
it Twitter
night.
too.
I do too. I tweeted about it, and there's just not enough that you can say on there. So in this job, which I feel very privileged to have, one of my favorite parts of this job, honestly, and it's going into now. Let's see. My 13th season here.
Yeah.
Which is crazy when I say that.
Right, yeah.
It is I'm the first person that anybody we draft talks to.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the first person that anybody we sign in free agency typically, gets interviewed by. But it's the draft guys. And I remember that year we were shocked that the first pick the Browns used was a cornerback. You'd had Denzel. You'd use a one on Greg, right before. And remember, we didn't have a one. We traded out a two, I think, to get Elijah Moore that year. And we get our first pick was in the third round was MJ Emerson. Mm-hmm. And immediately, he was just one of those guys that I clicked with. When you're in this job and you're around these guys and you're around the team, like you have like your guys. Like there are certainly anybody who listens to this show or listens to me do the games on Sundays, like who my guys are. Like it's clear. And MJ Emerson has been one of my guys from day one, and in fact is one of my favorite guys I've ever gotten the privilege to really know or cover on this football team. I think he is an incredible young man. I think that he is a great player, obviously. I know he had a down year last year, and I thought that was another layer to this as he spoke at the podium yesterday in a very vulnerable way about, the soul searching he did and how how determined he was to be the player he had been prior. And all the work that was going to be put into that for not only just, the physical part of it, the mental aspect, the emotional, all of it, to, be back and be a guy that, is a Pro Bowl caliber cornerback, because he was. His first 2 years in the league, 29 passes defense. He had 14 and 15. Second year, he had 4 picks. He was on his way, and then last year was just not quite up to his standard. He played through a little bit of an injury, then started, starting to doubt himself a little bit, and, that's a hard way to play in this game. So he was very vulnerable about that. Then he realized this is also his contract year, and so a Pro Bowl type of a season could mean multi-generational wealth for the Emersons. Like legit, I mean, that's not a joke. If he goes out and has a Pro Bowl cornerback season with his size and his abilities, this is somebody who could be making, $30 million a year. That changes over 4 years. That's you're talking now over $100 million on a contract. That changes generations' lives. So I consider him a friend. Like we always seek each other out when he comes back. When all of that. And so that one really hurt me because he's somebody that has done it the right way the whole time. He, You go back to even to hear about his college coaches talk about him. Mississippi State plays like with a broken clavicle, which is insane. Stayed in a game after breaking on like a goal line play and was like locking people down. He just was a special, special kid. Wanted it from day one, was a leader from day one, kind of in his attitude and his demeanor, all of it. Great competitor, great representative of our organization. You know, you never hear a single bad thing about him on field, off field, ever. He is a wonderful young man and somebody that, you know, very proud to call a friend and very proud that he's a representative of the organization for which I work. My heart was like broken last. I talked to many people about it inside our building, outside our building, just friends of mine who knew how much I liked MJ. Talked, of course, to great B. Lynch last night and sought him out and was able to at least send a text to MJ, and he wrote back this morning. So I know that he's obviously, you know, the support means a lot to him. Mm-hmm. And, you know, he will be back and better than ever. But it is just it's a gut-wrenching thing. We see these people, you know, in these uniforms as gladiators and all of that, but they are human beings just like all of us. They have crises of confidence at times, just like all of us. They go through, you know, adversity just like all of us. And they have an opportunity to obviously, you know, play a game for a great sum. And that is incredible that they have these gifts. But you're talking about somebody that was always there, always did it the right way. And those are the ones that you want to see succeed. Those are the people that you want to everything to go their way, the ball to bounce their way, to get the breaks that allow them to reach, you know, a level that is going to change, you know, their family dynamic forever, that is going to, you know, change hopefully the course of this franchise to be that level of a player. And MJ Emerson possesses all of those things. And so when you see him go down non-contact and you know what it means to him, if you truly know him, you know what it means to him to be great, and you know what it means to him to be a Cleveland Brown. It just is, it's brutal, man. And that is the hardest, that is one of the hardest parts of this job, is that people you know and that you care about. And that's the other thing. Like, I've been here, like I said, 13th season, a ton of head coaches, a ton of people on those staffs, and you never know like what the snowball effect of any one injury or decision or all of that can be. But these are people who put so much work into these things, and the players put so much work into their bodies to get there. And then you'd have this taken away from you in the blink of an eye. I mean, he was gearing up, new number, all of it to get this big year, and then just on day 6 of camp, just running like a little go-route. He wasn't even involved in play.
No.
Achilles pops, that's it. And it sucks, man. And it is such a hard thing. And I love MJ Emerson. I mean that sincerely. And he knows it. And I think a lot of people in this building love MJ Emerson, and he will have all the support he needs. And I hope all you fans out there can support him and give him love and wish him a speedy recovery when that time comes. I know he'll do everything he can to get back as quickly as he can and get back to 100% and all of that. But, you know, this season is over. And so the earliest we'll see him, you know, and it's a contract year, so you never know. But I certainly hope that he is a Cleveland Brown forever. But, yeah, it's brutal, man. It is brutal. And there has not been a sentiment that has been shared by anybody, and I'm talking the top. They're not just like, their heart breaks for him because he's the kind of guy that you want it to be. It's kind of like he has not had the success that Nick Chubb had, but in terms of the way he approaches his job and the way that he's regarded by his teammates, his coaches up, is the same, and that he was about his business, came to work every day, did everything he could to maximize his gifts. And so it's brutal.
It just was such an uplifting personality.
He's
Every
great.
time you saw him, you just smiled. He always had a big smile on his face, and it wasn't just, you know, for you or for other teammates. It was in the cafe. It was all the places. Like, he just is beloved. I know. That's what I was going to say. We were walking out yesterday, and you saw Holly down there, Holly down there, and she was broken as we were kind of walking out and just kind of taking it all in. And I think it speaks to this is the thing that's you have so much respect for what these guys do, and you're right, the money, the fame, all of that. But like, you think about the work that's put in, and then, you know, you and I, we got done with the show yesterday, and like, we kind of took a walk because it was like, God almighty, that's a lot to kind of take in. And then not 3 minutes after, because everyone runs over, and then then you blow a whistle, and then away we go. Because it must go on.
The train goes on, man.
It has to. And so, because you got finite amount of time, and we got to go to work, and that's it. And that's part of being a professional. But It was a brutal one. You and I have witnessed a couple of those now, but we didn't know Grant the way we know MJ because he was a rookie and you just didn't know him as well. Whereas MJ, we've obviously known very, very well. All right, so that is the personal side of it. The football side of it is as big as the personal side. You take the personal stuff out of it. This football team, there was a roadmap that was very specific for them to have success, and that roadmap still exists, but it has been altered dramatically in the last couple of weeks when you think about the losses to guys who are going to be counted on to be defensive starters. You think about Quinshon Judkins still not here. Much of what you thought this team was going to be built upon, if there was going to be success, has been put into question here in the first 2 weeks.
Yeah, now Cam Mitchell, who's a guy that's gotten to start some. Jeez Louise. I mean, painted.
Didn't even know they made those.
Painted right on there. Look at that. Me neither. Just wax on, wax off.
Jeez.
It gives them extra spring for
it
everybody
does.
else out there, too.
Bounces a little bit, yeah.
Cam Mitchell is going to be the first guy up, right? So you're going to go Denzel on the outside with Greg and then Cam Mitchell, two Northwestern guys in there together. He's going to be the first guy up. We've seen him start, and we've seen him play well in the past. He's going to need to do a lot more of that. Chiganuzium is a guy that they signed off the practice squad from Washington last year, carried on the 53 the whole time. To me, he's most likely kind of that next guy on the outside. Those are your top four. But then, dude, it is wide open. You have a couple of undrafted free agents, Dom Jones and Lamarian James, Anthony Kendall. You bring in Tony Brown is here, but much more of a special teams guy. Now, Nick Needham's a guy who's played some corner in his time. He's been working with the safeties. You wonder, does he transition back over there? Miles Harden, who you drafted in the 7th round last year, can play certainly in the slot as well. And he was a guy who had a great preseason last year. He's been away for personal reasons last few days, so we need to see that. But this is a very – that room, is it deep? Yes. Yes, it is. But at the same time, now it is, your top three was a very good, if not an elite trio in the league. And now, you're going to have to count on people to step up. And, Cam Mitchell was a 5th round pick. Anthony Kendall from Baldwin Wallace was, a college free agent with the Titans a few years ago. The other guys are college free agents. Like, this is not, there isn't that pedigree in there that you had, prior. And, Chiganuzium, he's got some size to him. He's the one who's 6'1", from a size profile, most probably similar to MJ, but, an undrafted free agent in his own right out of Colorado State. So this is not what it was prior going in. And we talked about it even, on the other side of it is, in 6 days, now 7 days of camp, your starting Mike linebacker retired. Mm-hmm. Your starting Will linebacker has been lost for the season prior to this. And basically one of the best off-ball linebackers in the NFL, period, full stop. And now your number 2 corner, MJ Emerson, lost for the season. And so you're going to need a Carson Schlesinger to step up. You're going to need, guys now in this cornerback room to really step up. And B. Lynch is going to have, his hands full. There aren't a lot of great veteran options out there that are available. There are guys that maybe are 1-year rentals. Bradbury is out there. James Bradbury, a little long tooth. Asante Samuel Jr., but you don't know about his health. He's got shoulder issues. So there isn't like a quick fix necessarily just sitting out there.
No, there's not. It's an incredible emotional blow, and it's an emotional body blow to the defense. To have these are two things that you just don't ever count. And now your margin for error in terms of that depth is also hurting. Denzel played 16 games last year, but previous to that, he usually misses a couple here and there for various things that have happened to him. He's dealt with concussions, of course, his whole career. So this is just one of those things where you needed, for there to be success this season in terms of the wins and losses, you needed this defense. You need this defense to be a top 5 or 6 in the league unit.
Yep.
They're going to be on the field a lot unless you can find ways to take the air out of the ball and have sustained drives through the run game, which I think is what the plan's going to be. But they need to be dynamic. They need to take the ball away. They need to be a top 5 or 6 defense in the league to have success. And now 2/11ths of that defense that you were counting on a week ago aren't here, and so others are going to have to step up, and it's a tough one.
Rasul Douglas is out there. Maybe that's a potential Mike Hilton would be a veteran who could certainly come and play. He signed with the Dolphins, so never mind. This is an outdated list. I had to click on all the names. Rasul Douglas is still a free agent. Yeah, it's just we're going to win by being an elite defense, running the football, limiting mistakes on offense, and when big plays present themselves, hitting them.
All right. From the practice this morning, we talked about this with Joe, but this is pretty big headline here.
Huge headline.
I mean, we've never done this before.
We told you it was going to be a different camp. I didn't know it was going to be that different. Day 2 of
Did
pads.
you have any idea it was coming, or all of a sudden did it just start happening?
So today, to be fair, I did not, but it was. I know Andrew got tipped off right before it happened. Like, watch this. This is going to be pretty good, and it happened. I did not know that it was coming. Luca was out at camp today.
Oh,
so we had Luca was parading around talking to the various people.
baby
and
boy.
whatnot. The baby boy was out there.
How was he regulating his heat?
He did a good job. So we kept him in the shade. It was just so one of the biggest of L's, in fact, the biggest, was adamant that she got to see him today.
Nice.
And she happened to be standing in a shaded area, which was great. So we kind of walked around the whole field with him.
Oh, nice.
Got him in the shade. I also stopped him for a little bit in front of those misters.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, got a little mist on him, which was good. And then we got him back in the AC pretty quickly.
That's awesome.
But it was very cool, very special. And Arden and Bryce came. So it was like the
God, full family.
Yeah. And the
That's
best
beautiful.
is my mom introduces everybody. I go, and this is my mom. And she goes, I'm Nana. Wow. Nana. Get the hand out there. So it was.
That is very strong.
You know this guy. This is the G-man.
Yeah, I was like, she's like, oh, I know you. She's like, I know you.
What was the interaction between her and the rapscallion Gibby?
Gibby was nowhere to be found. We tried to track him down in here. We tried to track him down outside. Nowhere to be found.
Nowhere to be
elusive.
An elusive.
I think
Gibby.
he knew that.
He could have.
Nana, yeah,
there could have been some crosswords from
Nana. Could have been
for
some words. Yeah.
The head honcho.
I try to tell her, I'm like, no, he really does love me, Mom. And she's like, I don't think so.
I don't think he does. All right, so Andrew got a little bit tipped off, but all of a sudden you're going to go, oh,
here we go.
This is what we're doing. We're going full contact.
We're going full contact, and that is, the reason this is a big headline is this is the first time that it's happened in a Kevin Stefanski training camp. And we told you, I made significant note of what day 1 in pads was like. Now, did I think we were going to get to right here? I did not, but here we are, and I think it's a good thing. This is a team that, you talk about being hardened and callous and all of those things. What does that mean? It means you got to be ready to play some football. And I'll tell you what, talking with Joe a little bit before we were on air, but, Gage Lardavan.
Yep.
Gage Lardavan, it continues to make plays and probably had the play of the padded portion of training camp, or the live portion of training camp today, when he took it and was able to move through the defense and weave into the end zone. And so that was a darn big deal. And Harold Fannin, everything you know about Harold Fannin and what it looks like for Harold Fannin to be a guy that, is able to, after the catch, make plays. You saw that, people bouncing off him, trying to get him to the ground. So I thought it was a very productive period, and it was also a very good period to see when you're talking about the fact that you've got, tackling, physicality, football for the Cleveland Browns. I think that's fantastic.
Yeah, it has to be, and I think the other part of it is, and now you have this, you have this injury to MJ. We've talked about the receivers. You mentioned Lardavan, and also we've mentioned Flory a lot too. And in addition to that, you think about the depth on the offensive line, that we want to see some things. Linebacker too. Like, we have so many question marks with so many young guys. You kind of just need to see them play a little football. It's kind of what I think it is. I think you just need to see what happens when we really play, because you do these things. That's why the Lardavan thing, that's big potentially, because he's been looking great for the first week, but now all of a sudden you're going, okay, full contact, what's it look like there? Well, pretty good.
Pretty good.
That's a win.
That is a win, and you're going to need these young guys. Dylan Sampson, for example, on the second play of the live period, bounces to the outside and makes the first guy miss, bounces off of a tackle, and then Carson Schlesinger comes and cleans him up. But, those are the extra 4 yards that when you're in a non-tackle situation where they come up and they, touch off or tag off, and they say that, oh, he's down right there, but that's the difference. That's in real football.
So we do have a little bit of news. MJ officially put on injured reserve. The team has also waived wide receiver Michael Woods with an injury designation.
Yeah, unfortunately, I had a broken hand. Is there a signing that comes along with these?
Doesn't appear so yet. Is there a signing that is coming
Are there
along
any
with these,
additions
or just
to a
that?
replacement?
Okay.
No, just that. Okay. Was there any update anywhere that anybody see? Because we've been running around and we had Joe in here, so I haven't been really able to search this out. But any updates on DeWan Jones?
Yes, there were several reports that it was just heat related.
Yes, Mary Kay is saying
Among others.
That's what it
heat-related.
appeared, which is good. Good news there. All right, good. That makes me happy because I was gonna be like MJ and DeWan back-to-back days. Like, forget about it.
No.
I'm gonna have to start not liking anybody.
Yeah. That was one of those ones that when I saw it this morning and I was
Well, it
doing
was-
my morning thing and I saw a cart, I went, oh my God.
And that, just so you know, he was driven off as he sat in the passenger seat of the cart with a towel on his head. Like,
And there were responsible people. The people on the beat were responsible with that, and they
Okay.
pointed that out.
Okay.
But still, when you hear player cart, you go, "My God, what is going on?" Our pets' heads are falling off, and then all of a sudden, within an hour or so, I don't know if our excellent PR staff or somebody got
Got
word
it.
to the
Okay,
beat
good.
that said, "Hey, it's heat."
yeah,
heat
I just wanted
related,
to
and
make
that's the
sure
way that
it
goes,
wasn't
yeah.
just a dislocated toe or anything.
Yeah. So that's the way that it goes on that. Two other things I want to ask you about the full contact stuff. Number one, how did Mason Graham look in a full pad, full contact situation?
He looks very good. He's crafty as a pass rusher. He is physical at the point of attack. He is very quick on his get off. And I think that this defense, which we talked about, is going to suit his skills incredibly well. There is a great deal of excitement about Mason Graham. There's ESPN did a thing recently where it looked at the team's talent under the age of 25. Mm-hmm. And it was not kind on the Cleveland Browns.
No,
and
it's not.
I remind people that that's called not having a first-round pick for 3 years and not having a second-round pick in 2 of those 3 years. That's where those guys typically come from.
Yeah, you don't have any ones.
Well, and it said they Browns had one blue-chip player. Surprise, surprise, the one blue-chip player they said that age was Mason Graham. So he has been disruptive. He looks strong and fast, which is a very good combination, I think, if you are at that position. And I can't wait to see Mike Hall get out. I have not seen Mike Hall, obviously, on the field yet. I have seen him in the weight room, and he looks to be in tremendous condition.
All right, last thing we have to discuss today with the full contact was the quarterbacks. What was the rotation like? How did they look?
So Flacco's got the start here, and then you got Dylan and Shador. The quarterbacks today, so what I've noticed, this is my takeaway, Shador made some very nice throws again today. He continues to do that. He had a couple balls that hung a little bit on verticals that were a little underthrown, and I'm sure he would want to have those back. Dylan, when the pocket is moved or when he has a clear throwing lane, is very good. The ball is where it needs to be. He's got good accuracy. Obviously, we talked about his arm. He's got a very good arm as well. When he is in the pocket, and there are times where we're 15, 20 yards down the field, and like I can't see him, and I know he's throwing it like in our direction. So he's missed some of those high. And now he's played big-time college football. He's had big humans in front of him. But, I mean, I think at the end of it, it's always just a little different level. Like Ethan Posick at 6'5" is, I would wager, the biggest center he's ever played behind
for sure.
in his career.
I think that's safe.
And so I think that is something, where you're going to have to be really good with your blocking and your pockets to make sure that the throwing lanes are there. Because when he missing high in the middle of the field is a recipe for disaster.
It's a little bit, it's a little bit like he's not as fleet of foot, but he's got plenty of elusiveness. It's a little bit like the Kyler with Arizona. And,
Sure.
And Kyler is at his best in Arizona when the pocket moves and it floats and he's on the perimeter with kind of RPO action.
Yep.
Is a lot of times what you'll see. But that's when he's at his best. And when he gets out there, that's what Dylan looks like. When Dylan gets out, the ball comes out fast, hard, accurate, all of those things. It's just you almost have to, my hunch would be that you'd almost have to design the offense specifically around that skill set.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like to go from Joe to him, if Joe ends up winning the job,
Very different.
would be a wildly different proposition.
Yeah, and some of the things they're using, and they do this with Joe too, but to kind of move the pocket as they do kind of a run action where it looks like, it's a play action and they pull the guard, but the guard's actually pulling to move the pocket and give him some throwing lanes up. Probably the biggest play that he had in this was a tight end screen to Harold Fannin, who caught it around the 42 and got down inside the 5-yard line. And Harold Fannin, again, the knees are will never be confused for Roger Craig running the football for the old people that are watching the program right now, who had notoriously high knees, but he is very effective in the open field. And it's interesting. I remember pointing this out to, I think it was to Stefanski, that when David Njoku was drafted by the Browns out of the U, he led the nation for tight ends in yards after the catch per reception. And Harold Fannin last year did the same, and in total yak for tight ends, obviously in Division I in the FBS. So that's a trait, and that allows for plays that are not necessarily long throws to become chunk plays. And when you have people that can get that yak or that rack, depending on how you call it, that's very good. Harold Fannin, very good at that. But just watching Dylan when he on the boots, when he gets out of the pocket, very effective. And actually, the next play after the big one to Fannin, he boots left, hits Gage Larvidan, who weaves, gets through a couple of tackles, house, touchdown, gives a little Dion at the end, gives a little prime into the end zone. Batonio, Judy, all of them down the sideline cheering him on. So that was very cool. That was probably, those back-to-back were probably the two best plays of that period.
One other thing other than what Gibby just mentioned in terms of the roster, the Browns have signed center Bucky Williams. In addition, the team has waived center Brady Latham. Williams is entering his second NFL season out of Appalachian State, originally signed by the Chargers, an undrafted free agent in 2024, spent his rookie season on injured reserve. So there you go on that.
Yeah, just want to touch real quick on Shador in this live period. Had one where he was able to get out of the pocket, and he did get out of the pocket clean. Moved around and then found Keyshawn Johnson for about a 30-yard gain, which was a beautiful throw on the run to the right. So that was obviously very good to see him do that as well. So all the quarterbacks had some very nice plays in that period.
All right, you're going to hear from the quarterbacks. We're going to go to the podium coming up next. You listen to Cleveland Browns Daily, presented by Bally Bet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns on 850 ESPN Cleveland. Browns training camp is presented by Gregory Industries. Gregory Industries, industry leader in roll form steel manufacturing, official partner of your Cleveland Browns. America builds with Gregory. Time to head from the podium, presented by Vivid Seats. Purchase your official fan experience package today for the ultimate game day. Let's start with the quarterbacks, and this one is from last week. This is Joe Flacco from the podium and his determination to win the starting job.
It's tough to look at it that way. I mean, I'm as determined as ever to just be the best quarterback that I can be. It's so easy to, and I do it, I'm guilty of it. It's so easy to like look ahead and like picture yourself as the starter and hearing that news and things like that. But I really, like second day of camp, I think the best thing for me is to just stay in the moment and come out here and have fun and like compete and just do what I love to do. I think that's going to be the best way for me to show what I can do and all that stuff. So I think there's a lot of self-motivation in order to be good at this in this league, and that's always there. So I'm just going to continue to approach it like I always do.
Do you think previous to this injury there was anything Joe could do to win the job, or did Kenny have to lose it? Does that make sense?
I think that if he was head and shoulders above everybody else, certainly that he could win the job. I still think ultimately the sense when you take it, so that's like the granular view, which is like what would be our best chance maybe to win week one, or what is our I think from the 30,000 feet and you look at this organization, you hear the words of ownership and coaches as well, like absolutely we need to see the young guys. I think you're looking for a solution. And Joe Flacco offers you potentially, right, like a magical run. We saw that, but 17 games, we have not seen him play 17 games in quite some time. I'm not opposed to seeing it. I just think that it would have to be a case of it's so clear that it would be disingenuous to the locker room that you went in any other direction.
The reason I ask,
I still think it's both, though. I still think yes, he can win it, but yes, it is Kenny's job to lose.
Yeah, it's just would be very difficult for him to do enough in the limited stuff that he's doing. You'd basically be saying like it's Joe Flacco. Like what are we doing? It's Joe Flacco. He's the guy. Like let's go. Like in terms of what's actually happening in the practice, especially before Kenny got hurt, he just wasn't given a whole lot, and we've kind of laid that out for you guys throughout all summer. All right, let's hear from the two rookies. Here's Dylan Gabriel on how he views this quarterback competition.
I've told you multiple times how I view competitions. Beat myself yesterday, and how can I be better than I was yesterday? And I think when you have that focus, it's going to make everyone better. It's going to make your team better. It's going to make our run better. And that's all I can do, control what I can control. And anytime you think outside of that, you're not serving the moment.
Shedeur Sanders has certainly had a lot of wow plays here early on in camp. He was asked last Friday how this experience has been nothing like anything he has seen before.
I'll say it's different phases in life, different things in life you have to go through, and that's all it is. I'll say for me, it's building blocks. Sometimes I always had to get overly prepared and had to worry about a lot of different things, just from my youth to high school to college, and I never had a chance to, I'll say, sit back and learn more in depth of everything. I was always thrown in the fire, and I always exceeded expectations.
More from Shedeur. Here's on how this experience has been, or rather how he views the competition at quarterback.
I'm focused on doing me. I'm focused on learning what I need to learn. That's simply it.
Are you thinking about winning that job for week one?
I don't think nobody in this organization is here if they're not trying to win. Honestly, I think they're trying to win who gives out the best water and Gatorades out here. So it's definitely a competition in everything in life. It's so many cameras out here. It's definitely competition with content, obviously too. So I think everything in life boils down to competition.
When you get to Carolina next week, what do you anticipate that looking like when it's our offense versus their defense?
In terms of
who plays, who goes, how much?
I
guess what I'm asking
that'll
is,
be kind of the biggest peak. So like I'm right now I'm gonna operate under the following assumption. And that is that Kenny Pickett returns to practice Friday. Okay?
Fair.
If that happens, I think you're going to see Kenny Pickett with the ones. I think you're going to see Flacco get some time with the ones. I think you'll probably see Dylan Gabriel even get some time with the ones. I think that Shedeur, will get I want him to get time with the ones. I want to see that. I think we need to see that. Otherwise, then we would know, we'd be able to say that it's a 3 quarterback competition and not a 4 until he starts to get those. So I think he has earned them. I think he every day makes incredibly high-level throws. I think he's earned it. I'd like to see it. I don't know if we will. But I think if that's the case, I think you're going to see a lot of Pickett. I think you'd probably see a lot of Gabriel, and I think you'd see some Flacco. If Pickett is not back, I think it's probably going to be Flacco, Gabriel, and then hopefully Shedeur against them. Again, I will bang the drum. I think that you see it. It is very apparent in terms of the plays that he makes, and I think it's very apparent in terms of the way that the players respond to him, that he has something to him that could be quite useful at this level in the National Football League.
Well, then you think about that preseason opener that Friday against Carolina, and you say, is that a situation where Dillon gets the first half, Shedeur gets the second? And you don't see either of the two veterans.
Quite frankly, I don't know about that because I don't think Kenny is at that level yet. I think with Joe Flacco, could he be ready to go? Absolutely. I don't think Kenny, being new here, new to the system, I don't think he's at that level yet. So in my mind, I kind of want, if you have 3 preseason games, what I would like to see is, this is me just talking. So, either the first or the third, depending on, how you see it, but that Kenny starts.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if Kenny's like the starter, maybe it's in the third one, Kenny starts and he goes in and comes out, does the first drive of the second half, so he has that experience, and then you shut that down. And then the other ones I want Dillon to start a game, and I want Shedeur to start a game, and they can, alternate with the two of them. Joe, if he wants reps, I would give him reps. I'd be like, you want reps? Then you get reps. If he is like, I'm good, then you wouldn't need to see him, to me, in the preseason games.
Yeah.
But I look at come from it the standpoint of, okay, if Kenny hasn't locked it down and you're like leaning towards Joe, then Joe starts the last preseason game.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
You get the 2 joint practices. I mean, you have
You're
Carolina
gonna get a lot of
and
reps.
Philly. You're going to get a lot of work.
For sure, but you need
the
quarterbacks
right work.
still need to be hit.
Mm-hmm.
And there's risk that comes with that, but you need to be hit to be able to, I think, to be ready to go. Silver footballs.
Look like the ones on. Look like good job at you and Bootsy.
Yeah. Oh man, seeing Carol. That story warms my heart. I said the other day, I actually thought Luca was looking like Bootsy, and she goes, "How could that be?" I said, "Because he's my spirit animal."
I'll have to find a young Bootsy pic.
Please do, because when I get him in the shower,
yeah.
I have the handheld thing that I'm able, and I get like a nice little part, and he's got kind of his eyes remind me of Bootsy's eye. I'm like, he looks just like a little Bootsy, and she's like, but that doesn't make sense. They share no joy. I said, well, share a spirit.
They do share a spirit, certainly. All right, there you go. All right, on the other side, we'll do the second hour of this program. Siciliano will join us, go around the league. Z goes one-on-one with Grant Delpit.
Can I just say,
you can say anything you like.
Not only is it especially joyous to be with you, as it always is,
mm-hmm.
It's especially joyous to be with you in air conditioning.
No gnats.
Like, I feel like right now.
Yesterday was tough.
I don't know. I think there was a great philosopher warrior, Stevie Janowski, would say, I'm 10 feet tall and bulletproof. That's how I feel right now.
So I'm told that the gnats is not a Radio Row problem. It is a full field problem.
That doesn't sound fun.
Doesn't surprise me, dude.
Well, yeah, they know no
And
bounds.
like,
it's
no,
not like they're like,
it's because of the rain and the humidity that it's just. I mean, and they're spraying.
I'm sure. Yeah.
And nothing.
No, they were formidable yesterday.
Yeah,
they really were.
That's the man who would know, Mr. Frayne, said that there was a significant problem during practice yesterday.
Yeah.
So, is Frayne the one who knighted you and deputized you?
He gave the final okay. Wow. It went up the food chain.
Accomplishment.
And it is a great accomplishment. Who did the actual deputizing?
It might be the person that looks exactly like me in this.
So I heard a theory that I'll share with you off air about this. This confirms something.
Oh, I'm very interested in that. But what I also would like is I would like it, an old school like knighting.
Yes.
I would like.
It's like in
you may rise as a member of security.
Tell the wife she's got to come in. I got to put my hand on the Bible, and we
That's
got to
what
do
I
a
want.
whole swearing in.
It's like when in Gladiator, when Maximus Decimus Meridius asks Proximo, or he says to Proximo, "You knew Marcus Aurelius?" And he gets very upset, and he's like, "I did not say I knew him. I said he touched me on the shoulder once."
That's what we need right there. All right, we'll go around the league. Z with Delpit, Siciliano, second hour, Cleveland Browns Daily, 850 ESPN Cleveland. All right, welcome back in. Cleveland Browns Daily, presented by Ballybet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns. Now here is Dr. Z with Grant Delpit.
Very happy to be joined now by one of the great Cleveland Browns and a better guy, friend of the program, Grant Delpit. Grant, what's going on, man?
Nothing, man. Training camp, dog days, getting it done, put some work in.
How was your summer?
It was good, did what I could with it, traveled a little bit.
Where's your favorite place you went?
Favorite place I went? I don't know. Outside the U.S., I went to Paris and London. It was cool. I like doing Europe trips.
Have you been to Italy yet?
No, I haven't.
Italy, good. Croatia?
They say Greece is fire.
Croatia's amazing.
Croatia.
Yeah, oh yeah.
That's my first time I heard that one.
Yeah, that's my homeland. Dude.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, Croatia.
Oh, okay.
It's great. Lots of little islands. I'll take care of you. We did it for our honeymoon.
Yeah.
The best. Phenomenal. Great people, great food, beautiful coasts. It's similar to Greece in that respect, right on the Adriatic right there.
Well, man, go and see the world, people.
Yeah, exactly.
What we here for.
Exactly. All right, so you guys get back in here. You've kind of gone through the ramp up. Pads are going to come on today. What's kind of been your mindset as you've kind of seen, getting back into it and getting ready to really roll now and get the pads on?
Yeah, now we got the opportunity to, create a little bit more violence. Nothing crazy, but get back to actually playing football. It's been a lot of, just mirror stuff and OTAs and with shells on the helmets and stuff like that. But now we get to, pop the pads a little bit. So just introduce ourselves to these guys a little bit. That's it.
Well, you guys have been introducing yourself to the offense. At least on the last day before we took the break, so that would have been Saturday, they got some momentum going. But it feels like this defensive front is relentless in the pass rush, and then you guys on the back end are locking people down.
Yeah, I mean, hey, we whooping them right now. No, just playing. We're getting good work in. It's going both ways. But at the end of the day, we're here to make each other better. So we got the best. I feel like we got we got the best D line in the world. A lot to do with my 95.
That's right.
We got a very competitive defense, man. So I think that's the best thing that our offense can see, and it's gonna be well for them in the long run.
It's been fun to watch, and you guys are definitely very animated, even early in training camp, getting up there, everybody cheering for everybody, and it just feels like, this defense, the waves, especially up front. But you guys, there's a lot of depth there now.
Yeah, it is. I mean, guys have been here for some years now, the same defense. New guys coming in, we getting those guys on strong. We got guys like rookies like Carson, man, coming in and really just implementing himself early. He's going to need to. Yeah, he's a West Coast kid, UCLA, so he's smart as hell. He's doing magic tricks and shit. So I think that he's going to catch on well, and he's very direct in his being the mic, and he's learning all three positions. So D. Bush, Mahmoud too, those guys learning all three positions at the backfield spot. I think that's going to be real important to watch. And of course, DBs we gonna change. We got the same guys, and we still thugging it up.
How's Rocket Hickman doing? Because this is a big opportunity for him, obviously, now to really step in and be the guy alongside you on that back end.
Yeah, I mean, year 3 going in for him. I think that he's pretty much seen everything it is to see. So this is that year that he takes that step and really solidifies his name in the defense.
Your room's had some change. Well, some veterans coming in, Rayshon Jenkins, DeMonte KZ. What's it been like playing with some guys who have been, in other places and now are able to bring kind of some of that knowledge in with you?
I mean, usually you see kind of like a drop-off, when it comes to like, second and third and the depth chart and stuff like that. But them guys, it's not. It's a very heated competition right now in the safety room. And it's something that, we take for pride. Like, when I go in, there's no drop off from when the starters. It should look no different. Yep. So shout out to those guys. They keep pushing us, and we're going to make them better too. And they're catching on very quickly as well.
Guy I've seen out there a lot with you, and I've heard Coach Bonda talk about him, is Chris Edmonds. It seems like he's really had a great off season, and hopefully we'll see if that can continue.
Roman Harper. Remember Roman Harper?
Yeah.
From the Saints?
Yeah.
He just said, "Hey man, say you looking like Roman Harper out there in that 41." So he keep on improving, man. When he first got here, we joke about it. He just didn't look good at all, the first couple weeks. But now he's just like a seasoned, a guy that he knows
Remember when Roman Harper was playing with the gray hairs, man?
Come on, man.
Like me with the don't let the frost on the roof fool you.
I was a Saints fan back in the day, so I know pretty much all the old Saints guys. But shout out to Chris, man. He's coming on along well. Y'all need to watch out for him.
What's your guys' kind of mentality? This is obviously, you mentioned it's the dog days. We got the Alpha Dogs now. We got those new brown uniforms that I think look pretty good with the brown helmet. What'd you think of those?
They said we won them 3 times, right?
Yep.
Yeah, man. So hey, at the end of the day, not a lot of people can make brown look good, but hey, we could do it. You know what I mean? Like, especially somebody like me. Like, I'm gonna get it done. Just pay attention to my swag when I'm on the field. I'll be around the ball. So, y'all check out the new brown helmets. It's different. Have we ever had the Browns ever had brown helmets?
No.
So it's not like a tradition thing.
No, this is
I was wondering
new.
where that came from, but hey,
it's gonna be the brown out.
The brown out. Can
Let's
we get
go.
brown out in the stands and everything?
Yeah, I think so.
Do we have orange seats?
We do have orange seats.
Yeah, so we're gonna need brown out. Think we could do it.
Is it crazy being the veteran now?
Nah.
Like, does it feel like it's gone quickly?
Yeah, it has. Especially when I didn't play a whole year, so it's going on quickly, man. So, probably like halfway there. As far as
stop it. You got plenty of time. No, we're still on. You're still on the climb, dude. You're still on the climb.
You don't play this game forever. I would never lie to myself. So that's why I kind of take every year. Never take it for granted. But it's going by, flying by, man. So you really got to make a name, for yourself and really succeed and win in this league. And it's something that we haven't done yet. So the time is now.
Time is now, and I see that you've accepted kind of like the fact that you're a leader on this team. It's just obvious being around you, the way you lead by example, also being vocal about it. I feel like that's always been your personality. I mean, when you watch you at LSU, that's what jumped off the screen, number 7 there. What's that kind of been like, and how have you kind of evolved into that role?
Yeah, I mean, everybody probably lead in different ways. People grow into roles. You see rookies come in right away and be that guy. But, it's just like how you are as an individual person. Whatever. There's no correct answer on how to lead. But once you see guys gravitating towards your just play style and type of person, you really got to take that and run with it and really elevate the group.
And you certainly are doing that. What's it like? You mentioned young guys come in. We got a young guy who's going to talk with Bernie Kosar over there, Dylan Gabriel. What's it like going against 4 quarterbacks? That's a new thing. What's that been like?
It's kind of like just pick your poison, right? It's kind of try to get to know the tendencies of guys, but when they all rotate like that, it's kind of difficult to do. So, we just try to get those guys good looks, man. So at the end of the day, it's a heated competition, and we just trying to make everybody better.
How excited is everybody to get the pads on?
Yeah, I think you'll see today.
You'll see today?
Yeah.
All right, Grant, always appreciate the time.
No doubt.
Can't wait to see you get going this season, and let's go, baby.
Appreciate it, dog pound.
All right, there you go. Dr. Z and Grant Delpit. There you have it. Coming up next, we will go around the league. You're listening to Cleveland Browns Daily. It's presented by Ballybet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns on 850 ESPN Cleveland. Add more fun to your fandom with the Ballybet Sportsbook app. Download today, get 50 back in bonus bets. You place your first wager of 10 or more. Ballybet is official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns. As we go around the league, Trey Hendrickson did report to Bengals camp today. His holdout is now a hold-in. So we saw this last year with them with Jamar Chase, and now it'll be Hendrickson. He talked to the media today as well. Joe Burrow talked about it. Burrow said, look, $50,000 a day adds up pretty quickly, and I'm guessing that's what it's about. It seems like there's still
it does add up
wide gap between what Trey Hendrickson wants and what the Bengals want to pay him. But I've been saying this for the longest time, like, it's July 30th. He's a veteran defensive end. Like, how much work does he need? In a couple of weeks, he'll probably be fine. Like, if we get to, from the Bengals' perspective, if you get to August 30th and we're still in this, then it might be a thing. But right now, I just don't think it's anything
I'd
yet.
just go ahead and let it go until like week 2.
A good time to bring him in week 2 would be perfect.
Great time to bring it in week 2.
Yeah. If they somehow pull this off where they get their first-round defensive end in, Hendrickson comes back, and they kept Chase, Higgins, and obviously they kept Burrow the previous year, be a hell of an offseason to pull that all off if they can do it.
It's pretty good. Yeah, but it's crazy when we were talking with Joe right there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they haven't made the playoffs in 2 seasons? Is that right?
Didn't they make it in 23?
He got hurt, didn't he? That was when he got hurt with the wrist at the end of the
you're
year.
right. You're right. So it was 22.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he went out in 23. Is that right?
Yeah. He did get hurt. Yeah.
G-Man is shaking his head yes.
So
yeah.
that's pretty wild. I don't know that they've done necessarily.
Jake Browning season.
Yeah, Jake Browning.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
It ended with us.
That's right.
Down
so
in
they
Cincinnati.
haven't made the postseason in 3. This will be 2 years without the postseason,
which is unfathomable.
Yeah, with that weaponry.
I just don't know if they've done enough for their defense, but they're certainly in the mix. Like I have them as a playoff team. Yeah, they're going to be formidable and quite tough.
I mean, if they don't lose the opener to the New England Patriots last year, they make the playoffs last year, nobody would have wanted to play them. So
there's
it's like
plenty of
anything
things that could have happened.
Football's fleeting, man, and anything can happen on any given moment. But as they stand right now, to me, they remind me of the 80s Dolphins, where hey, we'll try and outscore you and see what happens, and we'll sling it all over the place. They lost, I think, 5 games last year where they had scored 33 or more.
Yep.
4 or 5, something like that.
Yep.
So, they only really had one loss last year where they scored less than 3 touchdowns, and that's when Philly bounded them in Cincinnati. Other than that, they were into the mid-20s or better in every one of their losses. So, other than that opener with the Patriots. A couple other things around the division. Ravens tight end Isaiah Likely is having surgery this week to fix a broken bone in his foot. The belief is he will be out for about 6 weeks per Ian Rappaport. Back down in Cincinnati, they cut veteran running back Zach Moss off the team as well. A couple other things around the league. The Seahawks have extended general manager John Schneider. He's now tied to the team until 2030. We do also have our rookie ratings out for Madden 26. We talked about the 99 club. Miles in the 99 club. Jamar Chase in the 99 club. Obviously Lamar Jackson in the 99 club. We had 3 in the division.
Yeah,
because
this is a loaded division.
It's a loaded division, yeah.
Our division is loaded. The NFC North is loaded. And then now we're hearing people. Who are we talking to?
Steve. Yesterday he wanted to go AFC West. I went, ease. Hey. Come on.
Hey,
come on, Steve. Come on. No, I can't. They're not there yet. I'm not crowning Denver yet.
Same.
Nice year.
Solid.
Nice year. By the way, no reason to crown the Chargers either. What have they done to this point? They look like they're doing the right things.
Yes.
And it feels like after a year where they kind of put the emphasis other places, they've done some things to give Herbert a hand. But they have done nothing in the postseason. They are not the Baltimore Ravens. They are not the Pittsburgh Steelers or us in the last couple of years or Cincinnati. So we'll see.
Yes.
No, I think it's the 2 Norths are the 2 that you look at, and the NFC North. I think you could walk into every one of those rooms, every one of those buildings, and say, we plan on winning the division.
Yeah. That's what I like that. I mean, and you're seeing a lot of buzz come out of Chicago, obviously, to that effect.
Yeah, I mean, what?
You've seen buzz on JJ.
You know what I saw yesterday, and I think it was a voice swap AI thing.
Okay.
But did you see this,
Yes,
G-Man?
I
Do you know
was
what I'm talking
definitely
about
not
this?
real DJ Moore?
I know it wasn't
Yeah,
either.
yeah,
but what I'm saying, you will know that, and I know that.
But I'm sure plenty of people
But my
don't.
kids had no idea. So if you haven't seen this, there was a clip that was going around yesterday of DJ Moore sitting down, I don't know, at some local radio station in Chicago, and what comes out of the mouth on the video is him saying, well, we've made him, essentially, I'm paraphrasing, we made a mistake. Ben Johnson doesn't know what the heck he's doing, blah, 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 blah. And the voice matches, it's you could tell, but if you're watching casually and it was just up, I don't know.
No.
You wouldn't think anything of it.
Yeah.
It's a terrifying time. Absolutely terrifying. Like
Yes.
trying to decipher what's real and what's not.
Agreed. And that is going to be a problem for a great many things going forward
Sure
in our
is.
society. Yes. There's no doubt about it.
I had mentioned the Madden ratings. Mason Graham is the fourth highest rated rookie in the game with an 80 overall. I always find this interesting when Cam Ward went number 1, but he's a 71 overall, and Mason went 4, and he's an 80 overall. Travis Hunter was the highest rated. He was an 84 overall. Ashton Genty was an 83 overall on Madden. I continue to think that this is the first year that my kids haven't asked for Madden at all.
I know you said that,
which is wild.
Yeah.
I just think that game needs like a complete overhaul. I just think it needs almost a reset. Shook would know if they've done anything on those fronts because he's like the Madden aficionado around here. But
I think
last year I
trying,
played that game for 4 plays. We bought it in like the bundle with the NCAA game, the deal that they give you. I played 4 plays, and I'm like, yeah, I'm good. I don't need to ever play this again. It just was no fun.
Yeah. The other one, I agree. It definitely seems, the college seems more fun. The NFL is the NFL, and it's great. And I think that if obviously the Utes, if the Browns were, the team that was checking in at 92 and it was fun to go play, that you'd probably have more little interest. I mean, your kids, their 2 main teams from a football standpoint are the Buckeyes, who are going to be the best team in that game, defending national champions.
Yeah.
And have Jeremiah Smith, and are probably super fun to play with, and the Browns, who, have some superstars for sure, but don't necessarily have, some of the things that other teams might have.
I also think that the gameplay just is really brutal on Madden. I don't think they've ever gotten it fixed in terms of the throwing of the football and being realistic with drops and those type of things. Like the college game gets that right. Like there's drops. And in the Madden game, they still haven't. In my view, they haven't. The game I played last year didn't have. I don't even know if this one's dropped yet. Is it out yet, G-Man? Not yet. So whenever that drops, that hopefully they get that part of it sorted out. All right, Siciliano going to join us coming up next, recapping what he saw on the field today. Kind of talk around the league with him as well. That's coming up next. You listen to Cleveland Browns Daily. It's presented by Valley Bet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns. The Browns into London this October, and yes, you can be part of the action through the Browns Takeovers powered by TrueFan Travel. How about this? If you head to browns.com/takeovers to book today, you'll receive a 5-night hotel stay, a double-decker bus tour of London, a welcome party on the Thames, opportunity to hang out with Joe Hayden, Josh Cribbs. They'll both be there. In case you didn't know, an all-inclusive pregame tailgate and tickets to the game. Visit browns.com/takeovers to learn more, and we'll see you across the pond. Where do you want to eat on that trip, Mr. Siciliano?
Okay, so I was having this
You have a
conversation. Hi, guys.
Good to see ya.
I am not the biggest London restaurant guy. However, I was there for a night last summer, and in Soho, there's this ridiculous Thai place they got to line up for. Or I got a reservation, thankfully. There's basically just eat at the counter and only a couple of tables.
Yeah.
It's called Kiln.
Okay.
It's a Michelin star Thai place that's tiny, that is absolutely
Speaking my language.
amazing.
Amazing.
I will, we have a couple of nights there, I will try to get there at least one night. My brother turned me on to it. I think my brother's going to make the trip, and
Nice.
so, yeah, excited for that one.
Yeah,
But
they got a lot of them.
London's a world-class restaurant town. I mean,
Yeah.
they're
Is it
anything
is
you
it the
want.
most Michelin stars?
Is it? I don't know. I mean,
Got to be in the
I don't know,
conversation.
but
I mean, there are.
Do you like
how many
Indian
of the
food?
How many of the celebrity chefs
They all
come
have
from
places
there? They're
there.
all, and a lot of them
Yeah.
came from there.
Barcelona might be
Actually, that you're probably right.
the
San
highest
Sebastian
Michelin.
area.
Barcelona and San Sebastian going north a little bit. Barcelona might be the greatest restaurant town. Paris, I know people talk Paris, New York, LA,
Yeah.
whatever. Barcelona is my favorite town for that.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, I think it has-
absolutely.
It's up
Barcelona,
there.
that area
Yeah,
has.
yeah.
What is he?
What is? I can't
What are you
read
holding up there,
what
G-Man?
young
You
Gabriel's
have a
holding
glare,
up.
young
that is
Gabriel.
Arsenal.
Oh, Arsenal.
Arsenal, I think, plays Saturday night, right, Gabe? Yeah.
Against
So
West Ham,
we got to
yes.
work on that.
Oh, baby.
The two
Gunners.
tickets you got to work on this year. Arsenal Saturday before the Browns Vikings, and then F1 the night before the game in Vegas.
Vegas.
That's one of my oldest.
Talk about a scheduling nightmare there.
My oldest
Oh,
is
man.
all over me. on that
Traffic
one.
nightmare.
Really?
Oh, he loves F1. Yeah.
Really?
Remember he had that crazy card business I was telling you about? He
Yeah.
sold like thousands of dollars worth of
Yeah, how's that going?
trading cards. Well, one of the things he bought was like a racing simulator that's upstairs in like their common area, and like he races F1 with it's got the seat and the steering wheel and the shifter.
So
Oh,
my cousin Danny has like
I was like, whoa, dude, good job out of you, I guess.
one that is like
That's cool.
what the drivers use.
Yeah.
That is his you can pull G's in it. It's all on hydraulics. It's in a full cage.
Wow.
Full surround.
He didn't sell that
screens.
many cards.
No, he did a lot of awesome lawyering.
No. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
NBC didn't sell
No,
enough
yeah, I
cards
was
for
gonna
that.
say. No,
but he's
this
got a nice
is-
little setup for a 13-year-old.
I would imagine it's a
But
very
so when we
nice
went to the
setup.
F1 movie, which was his big thing that he wanted to
Loved
see,
it.
I thought it was amazing. I thought it
Yeah.
was so much fun. And then he was like looking at the calendar. He's like, Dad, we're in Vegas.
That's some odd scheduling, by the way.
Logistically, right?
Logistically.
Yeah.
Because how did that go last year when they were out there?
Oh, you talk to the people on the strip, like you talk to people that work in Vegas on the strip in any capacity, they hate it.
Yeah.
Absolutely hate it because you can't get down there. It just kills.
No, we're like
yeah.
that night. I
You're-
will eat in my hotel. I
yeah.
would imagine that night.
Like that's a DoorDash
we,
night.
we will walk through the casino only to get to a restaurant.
Only to get
which
to yeah.
we're allowed to do.
Straight through.
Absolutely. But what's crazy is have you been to Vegas since like when there isn't a game? Like when you
Oh yeah,
did you make
I've been
the
to
trip
Vegas a
last year?
lot. I no, not last year.
Or-
I probably haven't been the last 5 years.
So a lot of the infrastructure they built permanently. So east of the strip, like on Koval back there, for people that know Vegas geography, there are there's grandstands, there's like offices, there's pits, there's all this stuff that they just built permanently because that's a multi-year deal. So they're going to close down the roads again, obviously for the track, but a lot of that infrastructure is just sits there empty the other 11 and a half months of the year.
Wow,
Man.
that's wild. What did you make? When you got the word that we were going full tackle today?
I loved it. I got the word about
Yes.
5 minutes before it happened. I'm like, is that what I think it means? And then you heard Kevin, I think it was Kevin, I was kind of away from it, yelled, "We're live!" Like said it 3 or 4 times. I'm like, all right, let's go. I think it's great. Like it's what you need. You need a, as you said before, calloused football team, a tougher team. Get through it healthy. It prepares you for Carolina and the joint practice, and it prepares you for Philadelphia and the joint practice. It's a great way to get live reps with both your veterans and your young players. And especially with Kenny out, like it's a great chance for the young quarterbacks to get in there and do something real.
Yeah, and I thought young guys that have kind of flashed, the whole time continued to flash, whether it be Carson Schlesinger coming with a big tackle on Dylan Sampson, who did a great job bouncing off of contact and picking up an extra 4 yards, whether it be Gage Larvadan, who just keeps making plays, and Harold Fannin after the catch on that little tight end screen. Shador had a nice ball to Keyshawn Johnson. It was just kind of everything that you would hoped you would see kind of in that little period. You saw a microcosm of it, and there were probably a few plays. Miles got a sack for sure. A few plays like that as well.
I think the intensity on the field is also great for team building as well. So go back to the Dylan Sampson hit. Like, Nathan, you and I were standing right there on the sideline for that hit. The way the defense reacted, right? Like to celebrate their rookie linebacker that popped, right? That was awesome. And then the way after Lardavan's touchdown, I don't know if you were there, but Bernie and I were standing right there in the corner. They came right at us. Joel Bitonio, helmet off, Jerry Jeudy sprinting down the sideline. Like, that can bring a team together. Like, that is a good thing. You talk about training camp and the energy in the building and all that and bonding and Joe Flacco and David Njoku running around town and whatever that go-kart thing is.
Something you're saying in the parking lot.
Yeah, I saw like that. That's the bonding stuff that's good for a team, both short-term and long-term. I saw that go-kart come in yesterday. Yeah. I mean, it's more than a go-kart. It's a big vehicle.
It's one of those Can-Am things.
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's like a big four-wheeler with a cab.
I was walking around the building, and I just heard the music blasting. I'm like, what in the world is that? And who the heck is driving that? And then Chief posted that today. I'm like, oh, that makes sense. That totally computes.
Yes.
There was nothing incognito about it at all.
No.
And we got to talk. We got to get Frayne to work with him because his parking was lackluster yesterday.
He was in two spots.
He was in two spots.
It was a small vehicle.
In the prime spots.
Well,
yeah, you got to.
He's the chief.
Right, but then next to that was
somebody else, a luminary, I would imagine.
Other big prime spot occupiers. And
yeah, I think you're right.
That was one of the all-time. When they finally fire you and I love that the story when you and I were having lunch and guessing cars and license plates and stumbled upon one of the greats. One of the greats.
Great story off there.
Hopefully we'll leave somebody of our own accord.
Yeah.
Well,
hopefully.
It's all in play. It's all in play.
I think with any office, there's always a story to be told about somebody taking up too much too much space in the parking lot.
That's right.
For sure.
We had Joe Flacco in here earlier. We'll be in Carolina a week from now. Friday will be interesting to see if Kenny gets back out there. Kind of feels like that was maybe the plan, but we'll see. And you had them all going again today, and there's reps, and we asked Joe about the reps and all of it, and there's never enough, so forth and so on. You've observed for a week. How's this going?
So I thought the most telling thing that Joe said there, and I was watching the interview, was when he was like, it's easier with three. And I'm paraphrasing. I don't know how exactly he said it.
For sure.
But it was like, it's easier for three. It's easier on us. It's easier on the coaches. It's easier on everybody, is the point he made. And I want to stress, not in any way celebrating any player being unavailable. Right?
Oh, no. He went out of his way. You want Kenny back.
Right.
But the reality is.
And I'm speaking for myself in that regard as well. It's easier with three. I would also like to see, whether it's this week or next week, rather, or in 2 weeks, can he get a chance to work against the team that he played for last year in the Philadelphia Eagles? The longer he's out, the more of a chance for the other guys. At the same time, I am curious legitimately to see what he does, Kenny Pickett, that is, when he gets into a preseason game, assuming he does. I don't want to make the Sam Darnold, or everyone wants to say he's Sam Darnold, or Daniel Jones is Sam Darnold. Daniel Jones, by the way, has won a road playoff game, okay? Kenny Pickett is, what's the record as starter?
15,
you and I have said it
10,
10,000 times in the offseason. Like, these are both quarterbacks who have legitimately made big plays and won big games in their NFL career. But I'm curious, actually, to see what he can do with Kevin, with Mike Bloomgren, with a run game, assuming, hopefully, fingers crossed, that the run game gets back to what we have come to know and love here. I want to see it. So I know people are skeptical, right? I know some people like, just give me Joe Flacco or give me one of the kids. I kind of sort of want to see what Kenny can do, so I hope we see it soon.
And I think that's why, guys, you get the Darnold stuff is because, look, Kenny played at Pitt.
Yeah.
He was drafted by the Steelers. Right? And so for a lot of our fan base, when there's this predisposed notion of him based on those two factors. And so I think that's where the Darnold thing comes from, because what you say to people is, well, remember what happened to Darnold last year in Minnesota, even though Kenny's far more accomplished than Sam was at that point in terms of what had happened on the field.
I cut you off. I'm sorry. That was his fourth stop for Darnold.
Yeah,
sorry.
and third for Kenny.
Yeah.
And so, but I guess what it is, it's like, oh, that's how it can work. There was a while where we were so quick to, when a quarterback fell, they're done.
Yep.
And now it's like, maybe they're not. Maybe they didn't get a fair shake. Maybe a change in circumstances. I think Bake did that in Tampa for sure. So I think that it's a way to explain to the fan base of, this is kind of what's possible when put in the right circumstances.
And for Bake, it's his fourth stop there.
Yeah.
Right? I'm trying to think of quarterbacks back in the day that did that. Like Brad Johnson did it. Rich Gannon, those great years with the Raiders, obviously that wasn't his first rodeo there. Yeah. So we've seen it before. You see it a lot these days with offensive linemen, like highly drafted, day one, day two offensive linemen that wash out. Then they go somewhere else, and they get different coaching, better coaching, or just different coaching sometimes. Or maybe the light just goes on, right? Different scheme. Like there's so many guys where it's like the light,
second round pick.
The light goes on, and you just it's the old 10,000 hours thing, the Malcolm Gladwell thing, right? Well, sometimes you might need that in the NFL, but the NFL doesn't wait for you.
No.
Ever. Waits for nobody.
It certainly does not. And this is, again, I think you talked about earlier, just the headline to me is, this is different. I don't know what it's going to yield, but anybody who said that this team isn't going to be physically ready to play, this is different this year. I think that to me is the big headline of everything we've got here, is that this is a team that is going to have a training camp that is unlike any Cleveland Browns team has had in the last 5 years.
The difference in age, too, you and I said this before when we were shooting that thing with Bernie, like Joe Flacco, and I don't know if Sampson was in on the very first snap of when they went live there, but
it was Flacco.
It was Flacco. No, in the backfield.
Oh,
whether
Dylan?
It was Sampson. I think it was Sampson. You have a 40-year-old handing off to a 20-year-old. Dylan Sampson doesn't turn 20 until week 2.
Yeah.
So, you have that dynamic here as well.
Yeah, is that second play? Yeah.
Yeah, second play.
First run play.
So, like, I am fascinated to see those guys. People are fascinated or fixated, rather, on the quarterbacks. A lot. This season's trajectory, I think, will be determined in a lot of ways by all the rookies that aren't quarterbacks. By Mason Graham, by Harold Fannin, by Carson Schlesinger, by Dylan Sampson, by that group. Those guys need to contribute. And I think they will, because they have all looked the part so far.
I also think, and hopefully, as things play themselves out, Quinshon Judkins, who certainly was drafted to be a massive part of what we did.
I think it also shows, how malleable Kevin is as a leader.
Good use of malleable.
It's been
is he
one we've used.
Ductile as well? Can he be drawn into wire?
You went to Syracuse. I didn't. Okay. But I got to know my limitations. But I think that the thing that I like about it is, this is a guy who last year changed his offensive scheme to fit Deshaun and to make that work in the best way that they could. It didn't. The injury happened, and now we're back to what he wants to do. But also, if he would have done this in the last couple of years with full contact in the first week, I don't know that I need to see Nick Chubb in that. I don't know that I need to see Amari Cooper in that. I don't know, like when he first got. No, of course you don't.
Yeah.
You didn't need to see Odell Beckham Jr. in that, or Jarvis Landry in that. This is not that team. This is a transition year for the Cleveland Browns. You mentioned the season is going to be defined by the rookies who aren't quarterbacks. It is. We need to see who of those guys can go. You talked about Lardavan in Florida. Those guys, like, we need to see if what they're doing in the first week is it real?
Yeah,
and the only way you can do it is this way. This is a very different team. So I think I tip my hat to Kevin in adjusting who he is to the roster that he has.
Yeah, and I think part of it, to me, again, has something to do with what this schedule is, the way you've got to come out. And I know that it's in isolation, but I do think on some level, right, there has to be some, okay, look at last year when we thought we had this schedule that, could be helpful to us in the beginning of the season. And, you start off 1-6 and you lose at home to Dallas week 1, get beaten down in every possible respect. Give up a punt return, if I'm not mistaken, touchdown in that one, and you lose 33-17. Yes.
No,
Oh.
I'm waving.
Oh, it was a wave.
boss.
Waving to a passerby.
Yes.
Yeah. Boss walking
Then you
by.
go and you eke one out in Jacksonville. You lose to a Giants team you should have beaten. You lose to a Raiders team you'd like to say you should have beaten. And then you got destroyed by the Commanders. I just think that there's something about, we tried to do everything we could to stay healthy last year. We still weren't healthy, and we didn't get out of the gate well. Now, we got out of the gate very well the year before 2023, which was a similar style camp. It was kind of a weird rainy day that day, but, that maybe that has something to do with it. I have no idea, but I do think that this is a team that needed to be more physically tough and more physically hardened, and I think Kevin Stefanski's recognized that because we're going to win. Joe Flacco was sitting there and said, this is a division where you got to kind of be old school, right? You've got to be tough, great defense, run the ball, all that. That's our identity this year. We are not spread it out. What we tried to do with Deshaun Watson didn't work. We're not the Ravens. We are not the Bengals offensively. We're not the Bills offensively. We're a team that's got to run the football, take advantage of opportunities, and not beat ourselves.
I think there's also a league-wide thing here, and I doubt this is coming into Kevin's thinking, but it's spread it out, smaller linebackers, everyone a nickel or dime. There's always the adjustment throughout the league, right? You want to get back to 12-13 and run the football, that's how you take advantage of those defenses, right? It doesn't work, like you said, styles make fights, but teams have to have their different styles. I am all for going back to that.
Well, another thing Kevin said to me, which I think is incredibly true about not just 12 personnel, but just in general, if you try to get a team into its base defense, okay, I would imagine compensation, skill level, and certainly coverage ability. The difference between a team's starting nickel, and then their third linebacker is massive. That is going to be a massive difference in money. It's going to be a massive difference in skill, and certainly a massive difference in their ability to cover. And so if you want to get that guy on the field as much as possible and have that nickel off the field as much as possible.
Real quick, I know this is an off-season conversation, but as you were going through last year's September and October, like which of those, forget the Cowboys, throw the Cowboys game out, or no, include it if you want to. Which of those was the most, how did we lose this game, disappointing for you?
Probably the Giants.
Yeah.
Because it just felt, and it was, we had a roughing the passer on a pick in their red zone.
Right.
They could have folded up and gone home. We scored right out of the
done.
game. Could have
Yeah.
been 14-0. They fold up shop. So that was that one. And then obviously when the Raiders, you have Amari drop a beautiful pass, it turns
Right.
into a pick. Then you have the ridiculous hold
The
call that
hold,
wipes
which is
off an
awful.
80-yard touchdown. Yeah, that a lot of them. A
lot
lot
of
of them. But that was part of, I guess, being, a team that beat yourself.
Yeah, like if you beat the Giants coming off the Jacksonville when you're 2-1,
2-1,
it feels
you're
totally
feeling
different.
great.
Everything's
and
different.
100% different. Even Philly too. Like
Philly
I
played
left,
them
I
very
left
tough.
Philadelphia, and I'll be honest with you, I was like, I don't think they're that good. Like that's not a Super Bowl
No, and they
team.
went wild after that.
And
Yeah.
then I saw them on that Sunday night game later in LA against the Rams. And they didn't just punch him in the mouth. They punched him in the mouth and then punched him when they were on the ground and then stood over them and made fun of them. And I was like, this is a different team than what we saw. Much different team.
You guys are done. You're done.
Yeah.
We got to go to break.
Basically. Sorry.
So much
I
more
talk
to
too
come.
much.
Cleveland Browns Daily, 850 ESPN Cleveland. All right, there you go. All right, so off tomorrow, back on Friday. Are you playing?
I hope so. I don't know. I got no.
You
I'm
look
a man.
great. You
I'm
got
a
the
man
baby
without
blues.
I'm a man without a home right now. Walden shut down for the reno.
You not even a 9 there?
No, totally shut down.
Shut it down.
Yeah. Well, it's good.
Wow.
I want him to.
Let's get things. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
Let's be ready.
You know
next
that
year.
the baby blue looks pretty good.
Baby blue, it is
juxtaposed
good.
with the orange and the brown.
Maybe there's
It's a nice little
maybe there's
nice
a
thing there. Probably not.
but
But
30.
it is
30.
nice. Good to see you.
Likewise.
Now
See
you're
you
getting
Friday.
out of town.
I'm, like
Dude,
not
he's
even-
pulling
not
like
even 24
my
hours.
old school when I used to go out to L.A. on a. But
I'm
he's
not
doing
going to
Denver.
LA.
But I used to go L.A. on a Wednesday morning and back on a Thursday morning.
There you go.
He's doing that. But Denver, still,
Denver, yeah.
that's a significant flight.
It's a
dude.
significant flight.
It's a Sunshine State.
It's a
There you go.
significant flight.
All right, the next level is
It was
coming
a
up
valued
next.
rug.
Thanks for listening, everybody. Cleveland Browns Daily, presented by Bally Bet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns.